Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, based on your geographical location. Thank you very much for joining the How to webinar series Doing More with AppViewX. This is session 2. The automation is the agenda of this session. My name is Shiva Kumar. I am a principal design architect with AppViewX, working with the organization for the last 54 beautiful months. Today, we are going to take the next step towards the crypto agility outcome through AppViewX 1 certificate lifecycle management. The first step was visibility, where AppViewX the smart discovery module, the ability to inventorize and give valuable insights into the certificate metadata, expiry alerts, where is it provisioned, all in real time. Today, we will take this to the next step to achieve crypto agility. That's automation. We will be utilizing AppViewX's capability to do a closed loop certificate lifecycle automation. How would we do that? What are the steps? What are the best practices? What are others doing? How can we get to a point where we are crypto agile? Everything will be taken up today. Next step would be the governance piece, which will be taken up in session 3 by my colleague. This session will prove as a foundation to improve your governance and achieve complete crypto agility. So allow me to get started. This is a familiar slide from the previous session. If you recall, my colleague had walked you through the smart discovery module, how to inventorize certificates on dashboards, dynamic reporting, custom alerting, notifications, ability to manage your workloads, find out where certificates are in the real time across your entire enterprise, and so on. What do we do next? What is it that you can do with all those certificates that have been inventorized now into one single console? Now that you have a single for everything certificate, what do you do with it? You automate. Now, automation is a very broad term. In order to get full value out of the term automation and through AppViewX, we are going to walk you through the stepwise process to achieve the end goal, which is crypto agility. Today, we will walk you through the steps to do end-to-end automation, starting with the very first step of inventorizing certificates through every public and private CA that your organization uses, moving into the fully customizable and out-of-the-box solutions called workflows that will give you the ability to customize your PKI processes according to your business needs, the ability to integrate and use APIs to provision and manage certificates across other vendor capabilities like ServiceNow, and ability to log into the platform to do self-serviceability by, say, an app team or a PKI team or a organization builder team, integration team, whichever team it may be. If you require a certificate or use a certificate, you will have the capability to look at it and perform an action on it. This will lay the foundation for the next stage, which is your control stage. My colleague will be walking you through those steps to achieve the PKI governance piece, and that will be the final steps towards crypto agility. Now, over the last 5 minutes, you have heard me say crypto agility like a million times. What does it actually mean? Let's take a look. Now, crypto agility actually means the capability of an organization to face any changes or threats in real time, including the capability to switch over a CA in a few minutes or we have seen two incidents in the last 2 decades across two major public CAs where they have been distrusted by well-known web browsers, certificate authorities like Symantec, and as recently as last month, Entrust have been distrusted first by Chrome, followed by Mozilla, that have led to the use of crypto agility as a term on a day-to-day basis. Moreover, the short-lived certificates across the enterprise add value to that definition starting with the Google 90 announcement, where a TLS certificate will now be valid only for 90 days. What started off as a 2-year journey for one certificate is now down to 90 days. And we also have a buzzing word called post-quantum cryptography, especially after NIST announced the winners for the three algorithms that will now be used for post-quantum cryptography. These are the top three reasons. Now, how do I achieve crypto agility? I know that it is essential to achieve it, and automation is the logical next step to achieve it. And these are the top three reasons. But how do I do it? What role can AppViewX play as an incumbent to help you achieve that goal? Let's take a look. Today, I'm going to show you the stepwise process to achieve crypto agility, starting with the concept of closed loop automation. You have discovered certificates from across the enterprise through multiple certificate authorities, and you have also taken a look as to where they are. Now, the next step, the logical next step, is to go ahead and auto regenerate the certificates and then auto push it to the endpoint, be it an F5, be it an IIS server, a Linux server, and whatnot. The ability relies on two pieces of automation available on AppViewX. I will show you both the pieces and walk you through a live demo in just a few minutes. We will also introduce you to visual workflows, which are nothing but a bunch of Lego blocks that you can drag and drop and connect in order to achieve the custom outcome of a visual PKI execution in your enterprise. If you go ahead and it is approved, whatever the case may be, whatever be the order, we are fully capable to achieve that outcome using a visual workflow. Now, all of you will be familiar with what is known as an auto enrollment piece. For all client certificates, user certificates, device certificates, there are many well-known auto enrollment protocols out there in the industry. We are capable of using all of them on AppViewX, and this gives me the capability. The next piece is the self-serviceability of AppViewX. What this means is, be it an app team or a PKI team or a F5 team, each one of us using a specific certificate will now be given their own portals to perform that action in real time. Meaning, I don't need to rely on a different team now to get my certificate or perform an action on my certificate. I will be given that capability on AppViewX. We will show that to you too in just a few minutes. All right. This is the certificate chain of trust view. There are two components to it. One is the north side and the second is the south side. I'm going to mark them for your reference. This is the north side and this is the south side. So what this does is it gives you the capability to look at the certificate's current status and life cycle in real time. It gives you the server certificate. What is its status? The color here. Then it gives you the intermediate certificate, the intermediate chain, and then you have the root certificate all in one place. Then you also have the capability to go ahead and show what actions you can perform on them right out of the box. This single piece of vertical black lines will show you what you can do. Now, this was done in the first step, that's visibility how to webinar. Today, you also see this south side where you can see which certificate authority issued it, but most importantly, where is this certificate being used? Which application within my organization is using that certificate and what is its current status? Here, I can add as many endpoints as I want in order to get full visibility. Imagine a wildcard certificate being utilized across all endpoints within an enterprise. Just scrolling up and down will show me the current status of where these certificates are being used in real time. We will see that in real time in just a few minutes. Now, here comes the deal breaker. The ability to do end-to-end automation after discovery depends upon the group configuration that you have on AppUX to do an auto regenerate and an auto push. It's as simple as triggering a simple checkbox and telling AppUX the timeline to do the auto regeneration and telling AppUX whether you want to push the certificate automatically or not with or without an approval. You also have the capability to use AppUX by creating groups according to your business needs and placing certificates at the time of discovery and management into those respective groups. We have already seen that piece in the visibility how to webinar. Today, I will show you how to utilize that group configuration. This screen is just for reference right now to be familiar that you are capable of using auto enrollment on AppUX. You have different protocols, industry-wide accepted protocols available on AppUX for auto enrollment, starting with Acme with custom attributes, EST with custom agents, SCEP protocol for your Microsoft or your routers, your switches, your SCEP MS Intune, again for your internal devices and so on. We have also introduced something called as a GUI-based auto-enrollment piece. All of you might be very familiar with the usage of CLI in order to execute the auto-enrollment bit. We have taken this a notch up and introduced the capability to use either an AppUX-based agent, or you can bring your own agent and utilize it through AppUX's GUI-based enrollment capability for the choice of auto-enrollment protocol. You can also go ahead and deploy it either using a script or you can directly push it to the managed device using a curl command. This piece shows you the ability to do API-based enrollments. Again, this is a way to provide self-serviceability to your DevOps teams or application teams that are more familiar with either an API or a UI that feels like an API. What you see on the screen right now is the out-of-the-box visual workflow capability. It's an automation workflow that stitches together the steps to perform certificate lifecycle management. How does it look like? How does it work? How do I use it to achieve crypto agility? We will show that to you in just a few minutes. Now, this slide team is especially powerful considering that all of AppUX's certificate lifecycle management capabilities converge here. For any team that is managing certificates within the enterprise and needs a certificate from a certificate authority, will have the capability to log into the platform using their existing single sign-on or LDAP authentication and authorization capabilities. They will be presented with a portal that is specific to their role in the organization. You will be able to create groups and policies to apply the PKI standards of the organization for those teams. That's what we call as role-based access control, formerly or fondly known as RBAC. We can expose APIs for all certificate lifecycle operations right out of the GUI. All you need to do is click on the OpenAuth-based API guide, and you will be given automatic APIs for your enrollment, renewal capabilities, revocation capabilities, and whatnot. We also have self-service pages out of the box. I will show you what it means, how you can customize them, use them as your foundation, and optimize the end user experience. All this will give you the capability to set up your own branding, your own internal resource links, your Confluence links, your Jira tickets, your ServiceNow links, all of which can be brought together into one single page and then given for guidance, documentation, and ITSM purposes, end-to-end certificate lifecycle management on one single catalog. This is how the store of the self-service catalog looks like on AppUX. I will go ahead and show that to you in real time, and we will show a few steps to customize this experience. This is a world in its own. We will be showing this to you in a dedicated session in the upcoming webinars. We also have a dashboard that is available as soon as you deploy AppViewX. Most of you must have already seen this insightful dashboard that reads Google 90-day score. You can click on either of these values and determine what it actually means to contribute to that score. We also have standard definitions, and in the upcoming release, we will be able to customize and give documentation as to what it exactly means and how to alter it to suit the definition of the enterprise. So with this, I'm going to flip over into a demo. Just to recap, the first session was about visibility. Today's session is about automation. And the final session of this series will be about control, that is PKI policies and governance. While I bring the screen up, if you do have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A window. Okay. Let me know if you're able to see my Insights dashboard screen, the Google 90-day. Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Alrighty, so what you see on the screen right now is the landing page as soon as you log into the AppViewX portal. First step, team, is to go through what we did in webinar session number 1. So under Cert Plus, what you did was went to administration, certificate authority, choice of your own CA, and then you integrated with that CA, then went ahead and did a discovery under the certificate authority scan, either on demand or a scheduled basis, and picked your certificate authority and did that discovery to place the certificate in a managed or a monitored mode into a specific group, let's say 401. Now this group now has certificates from your CA, AppViewX PK as a service, for instance, and all of them are now grouped into group number 401. So under groups and policies groups, I pick up 401. This is the setting where we start our journey for end-to-end automation. Here, if you scroll down, you will see by default, all of these are unchecked, right? So if you look at it, you are able to do a renew automatically feature by just toggling this as on, telling AppViewX that this needs to be pushed automatically to the endpoint, and then understanding whether it requires an approval or not. I'll go over it once again. It's a very critical piece. Step 1, under certificate authority, I integrate with my CA. Under discovery, I do a certificate authority scan. In the scan, I determine which group I'm going to place the certificates in. 401 was the choice of my group name. You can also place it in any other group name of your choice. Once placed, I will go under the group configuration, groups, pick the group name that I have placed my certificates in after discovery. And here, I have the capability to tell AppViewX that please go ahead and renew all these certificates automatically, push them automatically to an endpoint, and ask for approval if I have been told so. The piece where it says push automatically will be facilitated by this tab, wherein under device management, ADCs, servers, firewalls, switches, be it anything, you have the capability to manage that endpoint by simply saying add, pick the logo of your choice, punch in the details, and hit save. All that you need to do is enter the details according to your SA team's information. Pick and choose formats, pick and choose your operations, your location, hit save. Once you do so, all these servers will now be managed on AppViewX. We can also tell AppViewX whether you would like to do a certificate pull every 24 hours. that too is available on the platform. Now,
Shiva, are you
mhm,
sharing your screen? Because your screen is not visible. Sorry to interrupt.
okay, let me share it again. Do you see it now?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so team, step one is the integration with certificate authority. That's the most critical piece. You have already seen that under the visibility webinar. Once you enter the details of your CA, hit save, you will be able to integrate with it. Second step would be to, under administration, device management, pick and choose your endpoints that you are managing certificates for, let's say servers. Now you can say add and pick the vendor that you are going to manage certificates on, let's say the generic Linux. Enter the name, a friendly name that you can identify the server with, the corresponding IP address and FQDN, communication mode, whether you want to manage certificates right out of the gate, the type of credentials that will be used either from a PAM or manual entry or SSH keys. Then decide what kind of vendor specific details you will be entering, the discovery formats that you need to have, then the directory you want to do the discovery from, hit add, front save. That's it. You're good to go. Once all your servers and your ADCs and your endpoints are all managed on AppViewX, not to forget integration with the cloud module, you will have these certificates available for discovery and placement into a group. You will go to discovery, pick the type of discovery you would like to do, say certificate authority scan. You can enter the details, pick your certificate authority, select it, associate a rule if you would like to exclude an expired or revoked certificate at the time of discovery, decide whether you would like to manage that certificate on AppViewX, place it into a specific group, let's say 401. Once you do a discovery, all certificates will now be placed under the group called 401. So you will navigate to groups 401, and here all your certificates will be placed with these settings. The first step in order to do end-to-end automation is to tell AppViewX as to whether you would like to renew these certificates automatically and then push it to the endpoint automatically with or without an approval. That's your first step. Now, this is for all certificates that have already been enrolled and just discovered on AppViewX. I repeat, this is only for certificates that have already been enrolled and now discovered on AppViewX. For every new certificate, you have the capability to do the enrollment on AppViewX, main drop down, cert plus, enroll certificate server. It will pull up the CSR. And here you can tell AppViewX whether you would like to do a renew automatically or a regenerate automatically X number of days in advance. This piece combined with your group settings will let you do an auto push and an auto regenerate through one single setup. Once you have full clarity about automation for end-to-end certificate push and certificate auto regeneration, your certificate inventory would look something like this. All these are your certificates in the server inventory. Let's pick up one certificate. And here, if I click on it, you will see that the AppViewX CA enrolled certificate is being used on these endpoints. So it will show you the capability of AppViewX to have a 360-degree visibility into all things certificate. And these are the pieces where you can achieve end-to-end automation. So for any new certificate or an existing certificate that is not mapped properly, you can look at the legend here and decide whether it is in sync, out of sync, not synchronized with the device, whether it failed to associate with the device, and so on. And for every piece of the endpoint, we have a corresponding field that you need to enter to give you the ability to do a push and bind. So let's say you wanted to add the certificate to an Apache. You will say add device. Under this, you can pick and choose. Let me pull the other one up. Let's say I have this certificate and I would like to see whether it can be pushed and bound to an end device. I will pick the add device, beg your pardon, add connector, which is going to give me the capability to choose the end device. Let's pick an F5. It will show me all the SSL profiles. I will select the profiles I want to map the certificates to. Select the certificate name, the certificate key type, whether I would like to push the root and the intermediate certificate to, name the bundle. Now, you also have the capability to tell AppViewX whether there is a customization being done pre-push or post-push, and then do an overwrite of the existing certificate, push it automatically, or even initiate a secure push. So this is customizable in terms of the vendor. It is already available out of the box. If you select a different vendor, say under the server, you select IIS, the corresponding available devices will pop up. I don't have a managed device here, so I'm going to pick up another one. Right. So you can pick up the Linux server, certificate type of my choice, certificate location, the key location, intermediate location. And if I say push automatically for this profile and hit save, that's it. My connector will be added here like a server, Linux server, and it will show me the current status. So this is one single example of end-to-end automation for you right out of the gate. This piece is using the capability of a group setting for a new certificate or an existing certificate discovered and placed into a group. The next step is the auto enrollment piece. On AppViewX, under Cert Plus administration, you have auto enrollment as a setup. You have well-known protocols like Acme, Skep, and MS Intune available for integration, where AppViewX can act now. For example, all your DevOps teams or your containerized certificates will be utilizing Acme as a choice of protocol. You can use AppViewX as the Acme RA. All you need to do is come under administration auto enrollment Acme, say add, and it will pull up a form. All you need to do is enter a friendly name to associate that RA, the URL, IP or FQDN of your cloud connector if you're a SaaS customer, or the worker node virtual machine host name if you're a single node customer, or the web URL where your worker nodes are running the Acme plugin will be your IP 100 port. Challenge type is up to you, whether you're using HTTP or DNS. Then you can enter the corresponding CA setting, which will be used for Acme, punch in the details, and then decide whether you would like to fetch the certificate parameters in the same flow, restrict revocation or not, restrict wildcard certificates or not. Would you like to enable high-speed transactions, and whether there is a need to return existing certificates or not. Once you punch in all these details, you will have what is known as an Acme array URL. I would like you to take a look at the URL setup. This is your URL with colon port number. Then you have the standard URI, and that gives you the Acme directory detail or the location. So this is automatically set up team, and you can simply click on check to verify whether it's valid, correct, and working or not. Now, once the auto enrollment agent array is set up, similarly, you can look at other array settings too. Like for EST, if I pull up the form, it will show up a similar form, punch in the details, and you're good to go. Now, let me show you how AppViewX determines or proves that not all Acme integrations available across CLMs are equal. What I mean by that is certificate authorities that support Acme for issuance of auto-enrolled certificates do not support custom attributes that are usually required by your internal teams. For example, the Linux teams that are issuing certificates might not be the ones consuming that certificate. So the Linux team might be issuing it based on the recommendation of the PKI team. The app team might be consuming it, which is coming under a different business unit within the enterprise. But the billing of a certificate might be on the PKI team. So we already see the conundrum. To correlate all this, we will have custom attributes that are available while enrolling a certificate that will give the end PKI team control over who is using the certificate, who asked for that certificate, and what is the current status of that certificate all in one single piece. So I'm going to flip over into a CLI based mode to show you how that can be done on AppViewX. So let me know if you can see the CLI right now. I'm going to clear my scheme and just hit PWD. So I'm in home AppViewX right now. So if you see, I have already downloaded what is known as the certbot client. This certbot client is available on AppViewX release portal. You can go ahead and unzip it. We'll go to the corresponding folder. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. I did all this for you earlier, so I'm just going to run this again for you. Okay, we unzip this. Now you have the certbot client. Within this, you have the install folder. So I'm going to make it an executable first. Just 1 minute. Make this an executable. Install it. Okay, so what this does is it is installing my custom certbot client available on AppViewX release portal. There is specific documentation available, which is very comprehensive with screenshots and a demo video that gives you step-by-step execution of this piece. We also have an upcoming UI that will allow you to do it right out of the user interface. You don't need to log into any client whatsoever. Once this is installed, team, all you need to do is enable a virtual environment on it, which is the standard process, and then issue your certificate using the CLI command. For the sake of demonstration, I'm going to use an HTTP challenge. If you are using a DNS challenge, we also have an upcoming capability going to be released in like 2 weeks from now that will give you the capability to use AppViewX as your DNS cache. We will cover that in a dedicated webinar in just a few weeks. So it's running this setup. You can see that all this is being done automatically. This certbot client has the capability to enroll certificates using custom attributes. So I'm going to enable this virtual environment, and that's it. Now, so you see, this is my virtual attribute argument. So for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to execute this. Okay. Now, after executing it, okay, I have to run this as a sudo. One second. Okay. 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 Wrong location. Run this quickly. Perfect. Done. Now I will flip over to the user interface to show you the certificate in real time. Okay. Perfect. Do you see my screen now? This is the user interface. I'll log in again to Cert Plus, server certificate, and you can see this common name of a certificate that was just issued. This is my IP address. This is my CA. This is my request ID showing the current flow. You can see the CSR. This is available here. And you can also see the most important differentiating factor, which is your custom attribute called team name of DA. You can go ahead and see this to be used in your reporting, your alerting pieces, and you can even bulk update attributes on AppViewX itself. So with that, you have a full blown Acme solution available with custom attribute enrollment, available on the AppViewX release portal under the agent name certbot. Now we have covered auto push, auto regeneration, auto enrollment. Let me show you AppViewX's workflow capabilities. Under Cert Plus Automation, My Workflows, View Run, you have a catalog. These are all the workflows that are shipped with the box. Under Certificate Lifecycle Automation, you can see that there are a plethora of options, beginning with the enrollment piece that gives you capability to enroll a certificate with notification, create an LTM SSL profile and enroll a certificate for it, which is mapping it with the endpoint. And then there is my favorite, the easy certificate provisioning. All you need to do is say run or schedule it for a different time. It will pull up a form. It will give you instructions about what it does. You can enter the common name, an optional SAN, device type where you want to enroll it for, and then it will give you all the options that you have managed on AppUX. Select the vendor, select the device, select the profile you want to provision it for, and then you have the capability to push that certificate directly on that device. Now, for the sake of argument, I'm going to flip over to a different workflow. So here under visual workflow, my view run, Again, the same catalog pulls up and you have a corresponding lifecycle automation workflow piece. And all these are available even for expiry notifications. All you need to do is run and enter the details that are most suitable for you to generate that kind of an alert, and you're good to go. Exit your time frame, exact or range, the time period, the fields that you want the report for, the issuer CA, UUID, first discovery date, select the group you want to apply it for. We started it for 401, so 401 is the winner. You can enter your email address if you want to CC it to somebody else. That's my colleague who's going to cover the next webinar. Yep, and decide whether it's an email content or a CSV attachment, submit it, and you're good to go. Now, what this means is you have got capabilities available on the box for you to utilize as soon as AppViewX is deployed. And it gives you an option to customize it going forward. Visual workflow is the secret sauce to marry your PKI customized requirements to the automation journey that your organization needs in order to have better efficiency and more productive outcomes. Moving on to the next piece, which is your self-service ability for automation. Under main drop-down, automation, service catalog, store, you have got out-of-the-box pages that can either be utilized as is, or they can be used as a foundation to create your own catalogs. Meaning, let's say I am a PKI admin. I want to use a catalog for my team. So I can simply say use, and it'll pull up this catalog. And you can see that this is a page that gives you all these options right out of the gate. So what it means is you no longer need to navigate from AppViewX, Cert Plus, enroll certificate server, enter the details, and then submit. You will be presented with this page as a default landing page that you can decide which team and which user will have access to and can start using it right out of the box. If you feel you want to edit this, you want to add something new, then you have the capability to say build, and you have other widgets that you can add, use, and manipulate. Meaning, if you want to add some branding, you can simply drag and drop this here, and it'll give you the option to add your logo, add your details of how the catalog name should look like, and so on. So let me see if we can build a real page real quick. Now we'll go back. We will say under pages, store. I'm going to use the AppViewX catalog as my starting point and then modify this. So here I have got a page. So I'm going to delete this. I don't want this. And I want to build my own page with a brand. So I will say branding, drag and drop. And I can quickly configure a brand. Say widget name called demo webinar. And I will add it here, demo webinar for AppViewX customers, right? And say this is in black and it's a big heading. Say save. Simple, right? So I used an existing catalog page, rebranded it. I want to make it look better, so I put it here. That's it. Now I say preview. This is how my page would look like as soon as I log in. Now this is for me, but let's say I want to give it to somebody else. So what I will do is I'll come to say publish this page and share it with a bunch of users. So publish, share, and decide Shiva. to have it as landing page and hide the header and apply. That's it. You're good to go. So what it means is I log out. I have my login page. See the difference. I'll sign in. Ta-da. Okay. I'm going to log in again for you just to show you the experience. Login. You see, this is the page and you have the capabilities right out of the gate. So with this, I'm going to conclude the webinar and go over all the capabilities once again in real quick whirlwind mode, and then we can take some questions in real time. So step one, main drop down, Cert Plus, visibility webinar covered the ability to get certificates from a multiple number of sources, including certificate authority. So you integrate with your choice of certificate authority, enter the details, say save. To take this a step further, go to device management, add the end devices, your servers, your F5s, your WAFs, your firewalls, your switches, your routers, integrate with your AWS or Azure, and then do a discovery. Once you do a discovery under certificate authority scan, you can place them into groups. Under the groups, for every group, which is compartmentalizing your certificate based on the action you're going to give them, you can decide whether to renew them automatically or not and push them to the endpoint or not with or without approval. This is for existing certificates. Step 1, auto regeneration and auto push complete. Step 2, enroll certificate for new certificates. Server, decide whether you would like to do an automatic renewal or not, X number of days in advance. And your settings on the group will take care of the push. Step 2, complete. Step 3, you have the capability to go to automation, view run, the catalog, and these are available out of the box: certificate lifecycle automation, alert and notification, as well as the ability to do enrollment, easy certificate provisioning for endpoints being my favorite. Next, you have the capability to use catalogs. So we used a existing page. We went ahead and created the PKI self-service page and named it the demo webinar page. And I shared it across to myself and I used it as a landing page for myself. And it looks something like this. So with that, we will conclude the details and take up some questions. Okay. Swati, any questions?
Yeah, all the
What
questions
would-
in chat. So,
Okay. Okay. If team, you want to unmute and ask questions, please go ahead.
What version this capability? Is it the latest version or is it the future version?
It's the latest version, Hari. It is
Okay.
available ever since 20.3, but 23.1, of course, has everything that I demonstrated today.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the relevant question. Yeah.
Shiva, from where we can customize if complete chain certificate should be pushed or only server certificate should be pushed?
Sure. Let me show you, Sushil. So under Cert Plus, when you are looking at the server certificate inventory, so these are your certificates that need to be pushed or not. You pick up one certificate, let's say the one that I used earlier for the sake of familiarity. Here, under the corresponding connector configuration, Sushil, when you pick which device is going to use that certificate, you can say F5 or Linux for that matter under server. That will be a more relevant example, right? You select the profile and you see you have the capability to say push the intermediate and root certificate. That's the place.
So
I
let's
hope
say
that answers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if intermediate certificate got renewed or we have to renew, it got renewed, so it
Mhm.
need to be replaced for all the server that is in the network.
Inventory. Yes, that's right. So you can do a bulk upload of certificates to manage them on AppViewX or Shield, and then use the bulk push and bind here, push to device for all devices, and it will take care of it for you. So you can do that setting right out of the gate. I hope
So
that
it will be
answers
done.
it.
It will be done during certificate renewal only, or it can be done anytime.
It can be done anytime.
Okay, and it will not affect the server certificate that is already running.
It will not affect that will be already running. On the group, you have a setting that gives you the capability to decide which ones to skip. So you can do those two settings and that will be done. Sushil, see this? You can tell which one of them you need to skip.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sushil. All right, team. Any other question?
Shiva, it's Natarajan.
Yes, Natarajan.
Can you explain me one more time auto enrollment, that part?
Sure, of course.
Yeah, thank
So,
you.
no problem. So under Cert Plus, Natarajan, you go to administration, auto enrollment, pick the protocol. I picked
Okay.
Acme earlier.
Okay.
You say add, you enter the setting. Name is a friendly name that I can like associate with.
Okay.
Give the IP or FQDN. For a SaaS customer, it will be the cloud connector URL. If you have multiple cloud connectors, it will be the load balancer that is accessing those cloud connectors. If it is a single node on-prem, then it will be the VM host name or the public URL you're accessing it with. If it is a multi-node, then wherever the Acme plugins are hosted, that worker node's VM host names will be the IP or FQDN or the public URL that's or the internal URLs that are allowing the access to those worker nodes. So that is available in documentation. You enter that detail. This is standard port. Then you have the challenge type, HTTP or DNS. Then you select the CA account that you want to issue certificates with, enter the validity, advanced settings if you want to use them or not, up to you. You can start with no and then transform it into something else once you are more familiar with it. Hit save. You have your Acme RA URL ready, right? So it will be this one. Now this URL will now be used along with the agent on your endpoint. We took an example of the cert bot, which is available on AppViewX release portal. You can download it, use it on your end Linux box to issue certificates using Acme. There are specific steps that are either available through GUI and in the upcoming version through a user interface, GUI user interface. The steps were executed during the webinar earlier. It's just the simple installation of the certbot client, unzip it, make a stable environment, execute the CLI, and that's it. You're good to go.
Okay,
I hope
thank
that
you.
answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva.
No problem, Natarajan.
Hey Shiva, I had a question I posted in the chat, but that's pretty much just all related to the quantum computing, especially.
Oh, sure.
So if you just look at it, or if you don't have an answer, you
course.
can circle back with me in an email as well too. Not a problem.
Well, I would definitely like to answer them at a very high level for you here, Shankar, because it will be available for every other customer too. So it's a beautiful question. Thank you very much for opening that conduit for us. But I will definitely also email it across to the entire set of participants so that they also gain from it. So just to read the question out, how does AppViewX plan to support post-quantum cryptographic algorithm in its platform? Just to give you a heads up, AppViewX is having a PQC lab already available. You can log in and create your own hobby lab for a root, intermediate, and server client certificates, a code signing certificate, which is PQC ready. That's number one. So you can play around. Step two, we are coming up with a PQC enabled certificate authority in the coming days that will allow you to use AppViewX as your certificate authority, able to issue PQC ready certificates. So that too will be available going forward. If ADCS does not natively support these new algorithms, how does AppViewX handle certificate issuance and management in a post-quantum scenario? Beautiful question. First of all, the step one for PQC readiness is an assessment tool. We need to find out which are those certificates that are not natively being used by your applications to be PQC ready. We will do that well in advance for the 2030 deadline given by the federal government, and 2028 as the internal deadline that enterprises seem to have, to give you that visibility and then give you a plan to remediate it too. So there is a full-blown active project that we can do for you to natively decide what needs to be done, but regeneration seems to be the popular choice. What are the benefits? Brilliant question. Again, there is no other vendor who is supporting everything on a CLM based platform right out of the gate on SaaS with a lab. We have got all of that available for you. Start with the lab, please. See if you're able to grasp the concepts, understand it. We will have a dedicated webinar for PQC coming up. We already have some content on it, a dedicated webinar already done for it. You can use that too, and it'll show you how you can use it in a post-quantum era. Specific features, capabilities that set apart AppViewX. Well, I can go on for another day, but the top three things: we are a CLM that is SaaS based, available for consumption across multiple multi-cloud, multi-vendor capabilities. So wherever your PQC ready certificates are found in the assessment tool, you will be able to replace and reuse and regenerate them using the AppViewX ready internal CA for the PQC era. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. Now, in regards to the PQC test center, do I need to go through my the account representative, or is this something open to public?
Open to public.
Okay, thank you.
Open to public. Yeah, no problem. Perfect. Any other question, team? Yes, James.
Yeah, hi there. Just wondering if you can confirm that demonstration that you gave with regards to allowing auto renew at a group level and at a certificate level. But out of the box, that's regenerates not available at a group level, is it? In that same way. So we have more of a security stance where we have to regenerate all of our certificates so the keys are created again in every instance. So I want that capability, but I want it out of the box at a group level and a certificate level for an auto regen.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that question, James. The renew automatically feature, I can go ahead and customize it to be regeneration. I have got this coming up in the next release, but to begin with, I can also map my renewal capability in the backend to regenerate through the custom workflow bit. I can work it out with you. If you can drop me an email, I will take it from there, considering we are out of time right now, but it is possible to be done for you on the platform as of today.
Yeah, no worries. It's just, but the answer is a custom workflow, yeah?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No worries. Just leave that there. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. And Shankar, you will need to use your AppViewX portal credentials to access the PQC test center. That's how you will be able to access it. If that's what it means to go through your account rep, so be it. But if you would like to access it otherwise, then you need to register first on AppViewX. Okay. All right. That's about it, team. Thank you very much. Do you have download link for certbot? Absolutely. Let me send it across to you via email. I'll send it across. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Shiva.
Thank you.
Wonderful
No
session.
problem.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, Shiva. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, team.